What is up, my fellow mobile gamers? In today's video, we quit Watcher of Realms. Oh man, this is like, oh god, I've been waiting for this day. I've been waiting for this moment. I finally feel like I've been set free. First thing I'll address, because people are already asking in the comment section, and I'm sure I'm gonna get a million more questions about this, is people want me to give my account away. And the problem with that is my account is linked to my Facebook, my personal Facebook. There's no other way I could link my account except for that, because I have other accounts linked to my Google Play. Unfortunately, I'm not giving somebody out my Facebook login information. People, I don't know what it is. People like don't understand that like nowadays, like logging into these games, it takes a lot of like your personal information and stuff. It's not as easy to just, it's not like handing someone a paper, you just hand over the account. Even so, even if I had it accounted to my Google Play, then what? I'd have to give somebody my Google Play login information, which has all like, I don't know what it is. People think it's easy to just give accounts away, but all my stuff has personal information to it. Like, it's not something you can just hand out to some random stranger. So I'm not giving my account away. I've never given any of my accounts away because, again, it's all tied to my personal information that I'm not just giving out to people. The next thing we're going to go over is why I'm quitting. I've mentioned it several times, but people still I can say this: no matter what I say in this video, no matter what I say in any videos, people are always going to make their own assumptions. And that's the biggest problem, is people just make their own assumptions and they're just going to believe whatever they want to believe. So I can sit here and tell you whatever I want to tell you, and it doesn't matter, because people are just going to come up with their own irrational thing to help complete the story they have going in their mind. But the basic idea is it's not fun anymore. I'm not having fun. I'm not having fun grinding gear endlessly as the end game. And then for what? Grinding gear so that I can get better gear, so that I can beat a harder gear raid stage, just so that I can just do it all over again. It's a vicious cycle. And if you don't see it, then I don't know what's going on, but it's not fun. Like, the game seriously lacks an end game content because there's nothing else to do. You're just grinding gear so that you can beat harder gear stages, and then that's it. There's no depth to it. I will say this: it's not like all negative, because at the beginning, when I first started playing Global Launch, the game was fun. The game was awesome. I loved it. I really didn't have any bad things to say at the beginning. We were collecting heroes. We had a lot of things to do. You're powering up all these different heroes. You have all these different gear raid stages. You've got the whole campaign missions to go through. You have a lot of content when you first start the game. But after you play for like 2-3 months, you get to this part where you've completed all the campaign missions and you've completed all the gear raids up to a certain stage where you get stuck. And then even like the artifact raids, I'm at stage 18. I beat all the artifact raids, but there's nothing else. Like, there's nothing. The game has no substance to it. And at this point, it's like you have all these heroes. They're all maxed out. And now what are you doing? You're just chasing more heroes. And then you're chasing them one at a time. They release a new hero. You're chasing them. You're spending money to try and get the new hero. And then for what? I mean, you don't really have any other content that's coming along. The game has gotten stale once you get to the end game, and there's nothing to do. I log in every day and I just do auto runs for gear. And then I do my guild boss. The guild boss rewards are pretty crappy. The Void Rift is also pretty crappy. I would say that this is one of the most unbalanced games I have ever played. And that's between difficulty and rewards. And the gacha system and the RNG in this game is, I'll talk about that briefly in a little bit, but the unbalance is just too much, because you have basically the difficulty and then the amount of rewards that you're given with that difficulty, they don't balance out, right? You have like this insane difficulty level, but with crap rewards. It's just, there's no balance between it. And when you get to Void Rift, you're going to get to a point where normal is too easy, but then hard is too hard. And that's kind of where I'm at. I'm at a point where like normal Void Rift for me is like nothing. I just blow through it easily. But then when I try and do it on hard, it's such a jump in difficulty. And because of that, there's an imbalance. And it's like, that's what people don't understand. You can't have a stage have a huge drastic change in power in that difficulty, because then you have people in this weird imbalancement where the one stage is too easy, but the next stage is too hard. So they're like, there's no challenge. It doesn't feel fun, you know? And that's the name of this game, is what I found, is things are just so unbalanced. The guild raid boss bonuses, the items you get, they're pretty crappy. The fact that you barely get any legendary summoning crystals if you're free to play, those are just like, oof, good freaking luck trying to get one. And that's not even to mention how bad the gacha system is. And this is coming from someone who has all these. We pulled Ajax, 0.00001% chance to pull him. It doesn't matter. It's so bad. I've seen so many people get nothing. I've seen so many people say that they've done hundreds of pulls and get nothing. We've even experienced ourselves where we had weeks where we got nothing and then randomly we get some good things. I know people are going to say, yeah, it's RNG, but the pity system I think is just awful. For the legendary summonings, not to mention the ancient summoning event that we had, where we did 17 pulls for ancient summonings and all we got were blue rares, and tons of people, all they got was blue rares. We couldn't even get an epic. We couldn't even get an epic. And the problem is, again, with the balancement of the fact that you're giving us these really hard, irrational pull rates, but then you're making it damn near impossible to get the materials to pull for those heroes. So again, there's an imbalancement in between the amount of free pulls we are given, or I wouldn't even say free pulls, but the amount of pulls we can earn as opposed to the percentages for the odds of getting these heroes. It's unbalanced. You can't have these insane rates, and then it's so hard to get a legendary summoning crystal. It's so hard to get an ancient summoning crystal, you know, and then it's just, come on, man. It's unbalanced. There's so many things in this game that are unbalanced. Should be called Watchers of Unbalancement, because the game is just, it's all over. And the sick part about it is the game was in beta for like almost 3 years or something. That's what's sick, and I think a lot of people don't even understand that. I played this game like a year ago. I played this game a long time ago before you guys even know it. I've got a bunch of accounts that have this game on it, tied to it. I've played this game for quite a while. I've seen the development of it, and let me tell you, nothing's really changed. People were complaining about how bad the gear raid drops were a year ago, before they even had this global launch, before you guys even knew about this game. People were complaining in the Discord about how unbalanced and how ridiculous the gear drop rates are in this. And guess what? Things haven't changed. It's still the same. The gear drops are horrendous. It's too much RNG in this game. And it's like you have no control over it. And I think that's the problem. You have to get good heroes, right? You have to have the correct heroes. The early stages, you can get away with just having like a decent amount of just variety. But when you get to those harder stages, you need specific heroes to complete them. Not only that, you need specific gear. Not only that, you have to have really good rolls on that gear. You have to have insanely strong gear. You gotta have top tier numbers. If you don't have all three, you're not gonna beat it, right? You can have, I'm telling you, you can have the strategy down to a T. You can know the exact placement, the exact time to activate ultimates. It does not matter. If you don't have RNG on your side for heroes and gear rolls, you will not progress. How is that fun? How is that fun? I wanna play a game where I have control. And that's just the sad reality of it, is that part really falls off in the end game. The end game, you don't have control. You have a little bit of control at the beginning when you're doing everything, but once you get to this end game stuff, forget about it. It's just, it's not fun. There's other games coming out that I want to play, which I'm excited for. This game has just been depressing to play. Honestly, I wanted to quit last week. When I made that video, when I was saying all that stuff about us not getting our creator rewards and stuff, I mean, at that point, I was ready to quit then. I was like, all right, I'm going to give it another week. I'm going to see. Hopefully, maybe things change. Maybe things get better. But they're not. Nothing's getting better. The events are recycled events. A lot of the heroes that are promoted as being new, they're really not new. They're just on the Forerunner server, the beta servers. The beta servers, if you go on there and look, they're stacked with dozens upon dozens of legendary heroes. And guess what? All they're doing is force feeding them into the global launch servers one at a time, throwing them in these banners to get people to spend money. And that's it. Like they don't have to make any new heroes. They literally have this game on auto farm money because they have all the content already made, and all they're doing is just introducing it into the global servers. And a lot of people don't know, and they think they're new heroes. Little do they know, these heroes have been around for years, right? And they're throwing their wallets to try and pull this new hero. And yeah, it's just like, come on, man, it's sad. And then people are gonna be in the comments, oh, it's a business, they have to make money. And like, of course, I'm like the first one who advocates for that. Anytime someone says something's pay to win, I always say, like, you know, it's a business. Their model is to make as much money as possible, and they don't really care about anything else. That's what the model of any type of business is. Make as much money as possible, and that's what they want to do. So I understand that, but there's no balance between this. It's not fun. It's like, I don't know. It's just not fun to me, and I can't see how I could just keep doing this over and over and over again. And just like, it's depressing. It's sad. It's frustrating. You get to a point where no matter what you do, you're just not strong enough. You have to grind endlessly for gear just to try and get one new piece of gear that might be better than one you already have, and that just might be just enough so that you can complete the harder gear raid stage, just so that you can then go ahead and farm that one all over again. It's not fun. So I got all my heroes in here. We're going to dismiss them, and I'm excited to do this. We are going ahead. We're dismissing pretty much every hero that we have, all our legendaries, all of our epics. This is interesting. If you guys were ever wondering how much stuff you get, this is, look, 1,600 of these coins we're getting for our dismissal of legendaries. We're getting 4,000 for how many epics we have. So this is a pretty cool little breakdown of it. And yeah, this is it. This is me saying goodbye, and for this game at least. I mean, there's tons of other games coming out I'm excited we're gonna play. But what else did I want to say? If you're a real OG viewer, then you know that we did something pretty much the same when I quit A3 Still Alive, where I went ahead and I deleted all of my gear on all my heroes. That was definitely fun. And I think that's like the best way to go out. You got to go out with a bang, right? If you're going to go out with a bang. There's no coming back, and this is it. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, dismissal at its finest. Yes, yes, yes. Take one for the thumbnail. I will see you guys and girls in another game, hopefully soon. Bam, and there it is, dismissed. We have a straggler. Let's hold on. What is this one's got some gear on it. Let's just, I want to make sure this is completely blank. So let's do this and dismiss. You cannot sell all heroes. Wow. So they actually make you keep one hero. That's pretty interesting. There you go. You guys learned another thing, that you cannot delete all of your heroes. They make you actually keep one. The other thing I was gonna do is I was gonna delete all of my gear, and I'll delete like as much as I can, but there's so many that I have locked. Like I have so many pieces of gear locked that like sitting here and going through like every single one would take forever, but I'll at least unlock and delete the really, really good ones just to like, you know, prove a bigger point, you know, show that it is power to the player and that like this stuff doesn't matter, right? Don't get caught up in putting your whole identity in these games. I think that's a huge, huge problem that I see. And it's usually with a lot of people who play these games for months on end. They have a really bad identity crisis. And they think that the game is like their end all be all, and they have to do this and they have to play the game every day and they have to be the best and they have to be on the top of the leaderboard and all this crazy stuff. And people get way too like sensitive and overly like crazy about these games, and like just a game, dude. Like at the end of the day, don't let these games be your identity. You are a human being. Don't get caught up in this monkey mechanics that they have you fooled for. Do this every day, do that every day, in this vicious cycle. These games, they get you in a vicious cycle. And I've honestly noticed that like it really happens like if you play these games for like longer periods of time. If you play any new mobile game for like the first month or two that it's out, you typically don't see that monkey mentality of just going in this endless loop. It's once you start to play the same game for around 3 months, the worst games, sometimes they're not able to hold off as long, and you can see it in as little as 2 months. But usually like 2 to 3 months is when you kind of start to see these games just be like sucking you dry of your soul, and they just try and like get you in that mentality of you have to play, you have to do this every day, and then you have to spend when this new event comes up, new summoning event every weekend. Oh, time to spend money, right? And it gets you in this vicious loop. People are completely unaware of it. It's sad. I know it seems like there's a lot of negativity, and there is, but also, I mean, we had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun over the last, 2-3 months. There were a lot of good times, a lot of fun making some videos, but lately, like the last couple weeks, I just have not enjoyed it at all. I haven't even wanted to make videos on this game. It's been so depressing. Like, I'm just like, I just want to be done with it. I deleted it off my tablet yesterday. I haven't played the game at all yesterday, and it just feels like such a huge weight is just off my shoulders, and it's like, finally feel free. And that is it. It is free. I am ready to move on. Let's find something else to play for a little bit. And then, you know, just find something else, on and on and on. But mobile gaming, unfortunately, is. Mobile gaming is also kind of a vicious cycle in its own, because these mobile games really don't entertain you for very long. These new ones come out and they're good for a while, but then like this one, most of them end in this way where it's not fun after several months. Hope you guys and girls enjoyed the video. Stay happy, stay safe, and I'll see y'all in another game. Peace.